how do you find them? And then what are you supposed to say after you find them? It's great that you found them, but then what? What do you do with them? And that's what we're going to talk about. There are three ways that people typically think about finding these people. One of them is you just send them a resume. Another one is you just kind of passively put yourself out there. You get on LinkedIn, you post yourself up there and you hope that they find you as opposed to you finding them. But of course we know the market doesn't work that way anymore. The other thing is you do a gimmick. You see this on the news every once in a while. They stand in the corner with a signboard in front and back, which gives you about 15 minutes of fame and no job. I've talked to a number of people who have done that mistake. And of course the last one is networking. And we hear a lot about networking, and most people kind of get it, but they don't get it. And the idea, of course, is that no matter where we are, that we are, on the average, 6 connections to anybody in the world. That's the theory of networking. If you look at social networks online, 6 is the average. And in fact, it maxes out about 12. The problem is, which 6? Because if you think about the math of it, right? By the time, if you got, each person knows 20 people, by the time you're out to the 3rd degree, 4th degree, 5th degree, that's a huge number of possibilities. And so the reality is that people have struggled with this issue about what 6 is it? And there's been a lot of research around it, because one of the other problems that comes up is that just because people are connected does not mean you get a connection, right? So this issue of, do people care enough to connect you that they'll actually do the connection, is a significant challenge that we have to overcome when we're in a job search. It's one thing to call up somebody and say, I'm going to Seattle, do you know any good restaurants to go to? And you do the networking thing and you connect with a few people and you get a lot of suggestions. But the whole different game when you go to them and you say, I'm looking for a job, would you introduce me to somebody who's really important, who has the authority to hire? Now it's a different game. So connected and connection is a big deal. The second thing, or third thing that's an issue, is that all connections aren't equal, meaning that there actually is what's called the clustering phenomena, where you have people, you know people, but those same people will know each other, right? Which brings us to the big challenge that when we're in a job search, we have to jump out of our cluster. We actually have to move beyond that circle of people that we know. And that is why most networking efforts peter out over time. That people fail to make that jump. And what's interesting is the jump is often made through weak connections.
Duncan's presentation was great. It really gave me insight on how to ask the right questions so that I could land that job that I'm interested in.
The best thing that I took away from Duncan's presentation tonight was jumping the networks, and not just looking at the immediate network that you have, but looking at how your network connects with other networks.